Previously, what happened in Tale of the Nine-Tailed Part 1, Li Yan is the nine-tailed fox. He is over 1,000 years old and possesses some extraordinary abilities. He used to be a mountain guardian spirit in his past life, but he gave it up to save his lover. He spends many centuries with humans in search of the reincarnation of his lost love and eradicates supernatural beings that threaten the mortal world. One day he comes across a girl named Jia, whom he saved years ago when she was younger. Only it turns out that she is the reincarnation of his first love, Aiyun. Li Yan killed Aiyun years ago because an earth dragon named Imugi possessed her. However, Aiyun's sacrifice was in vain because Imugi has returned, and with the help of an evil lady, he has trapped Jia and Yan's brother Rang into the situation they fear the most. Yan is asked to save one of them. After making a difficult decision, he sets out to save Rang. Yan comes right in time to save Rang, who is trapped in an imaginary world of his subconsciousness. The duo manages to fight the horde and flee. On the other hand, Jia is trapped in the manifestation of her subconscious mind, and she has to relive the terrible moments of her family's accident. After the accident, Imugi and the evil lady arrive to ambush Yan because they are confident that he will come to save Jia, but sadly their plan didn't work out as Yan already knows that Imugi will never kill Jia because he wants to marry her, so he couldn't show up. Whereas the misunderstanding between the brothers resolves. Yan tells Rang that the only way to escape this world is for Rang to face his fear. With that, the dude fights again. Yan allows Rang to escape and sacrifices himself to hold back the hordes. Later, he somehow connects to Jaya's vision and tells her that what she's experiencing isn't real, but rather, she is just trapped in her mind. He tells her that she needs to remember everything and come back to the real world. For that, she needs to face her biggest fear, which is losing her parents. Yan helps Jia escape, and she returns to the real world. But Yim is left behind once again. However, the situation is different because now he is in his own subconscious mind, which means he is not helpless anymore. He encounters the evil lady and Imugi and warns him that he is coming for him. With that, the evil lady disappears and Yan returns back to the real world, where he reunites with Jia. Imugi begins the next phase of his plan, and this time he wants to use Yan's body to become the god and make Jia his bride. On the other hand, Yan decides to reveal the reason why he actually killed Jaya's former self, Aiyun. In a flashback, it is revealed that years ago, Imugi possessed Aiyun because she gave up her body to save her father. She was used by Imugi to kill Yan so that he could have Yan's heart take control over the mountain god's powers. But Aiyun clearly couldn't kill her lover. She asked Yan to kill her so that Imugi would die with her as well. With that, his hand turned into a claw and unwillingly, he killed Aiyun. Back in the present, Yan and Jia are happy to be united after ages, and Jia apologizes to him for making him wait so long. Later, Imugi starts to execute his plan and gets a job at Jaya's workplace in order to get close to her, and he introduces himself as Terry. Soon, Jia realizes that the CEO, who has raised Imugi, is responsible for her parents' accident and goes to confront him. However, the CEO reveals that he will free her parents if she sacrifices Yan. Meanwhile, Imugi encounters Yan and the two start fighting, but they soon realize that they can't kill each other. Imugi offers Yan a deal that he will let Rang, Jia, and Jaya's parents live. He gives up his body to him. Yan refuses Imugi's offer, thinking that it is some sort of trick. But Imugi gets mad, and he uses his power to force innocent people into committing suicide. Later, Yan and Jia go to the Afterlife Immigration Office and offer a deal to Talupa that they will bring Imugi to her, and in return, she needs to reveal Jaya's parents' location. Talupa eventually spills the truth with two words, round cherries. Obviously, that refers to the cherries in the CEO's living room that hold the essence of living people, and Jaya's parents are also trapped in them. In the meantime, Rang decides to defy his brother. At the CEO's request, he poisons Yan and takes him to the CEO's place. But it's time for the big reveal, and it turns out that Yan and Rang fool the president. They eventually make a deal with the president and manage to free Jaya's parents. Whereas Jia spends the whole time distracting Imugi, and it turns out that she is also part of the plan because she knows that Terry is Imugi. As she heads back home, she meets her parents after a long wait, and we get to see an emotional reunion. Imugi is absolutely mad as he lost ground cherries because of the president's incompetence. He tells the president that he will reveal his fate soon. Later that evening, Jia somehow communicates with Imugi in her dream, and he tells her that they're connected, indicating that something dark and sinister is hidden inside Jaya's body. The following day, the scared president arrives at Yan's place and asks for help because he knows that Imugi won't spare his life. He makes a deal with Yan and reveals that Imugi can be defeated by doing the same ritual they used to awaken him on the island during the early episodes of the show. Meanwhile, Imuji makes his move and convinces Jaya to have dinner with him. But what he doesn't know is that she has already planned everything with Yan to track him down. As they talk, he admits that he likes Jaya and claims that if she doesn't accept his proposal, he will spread a dangerous plague throughout the world. However, she rejects him and tells him that she loves Yan. This enrages him, and just as he is about to attack her, Yan shows up. He's about to start the ritual to banish Imugi for good. But it turns out that he has got everything wrong and Imugi has been split in half, with half of it residing inside Jaya and half of it being Terry. Yan is once again helpless because Imugi has possessed his lover again just like years ago. He wants to kill Imugi, but he can't because he doesn't want to hurt Jaya. However, Imugi is still weak, and he can't fully take control over her body. She soon collapses and Yan takes her back. On the other hand, Terry decides to punish the president by imprisoning him. Yin gathers up his subordinates and makes a plan to get Imugi out of Jaya's body. It is revealed that he is going to use a dagger named Sin Slayer. It is basically a mythical weapon that can be used to kill immortal beings. And if they attack Jaya with this dagger, then only the Imugi inside her will die and she won't be hurt. At the police station, the president and the officers begin to have some red spots on their bodies, indicating that Terry has spread the plague. Later, Yan decides to execute his plan, but Jaya flips the script as the Imugi within her stabs Yan. Imugi believes that he has won. He triumphantly takes out a scale from his skin and places it in Yan's mouth. Well, this is how the demons jump from one body to another, but he doesn't know that he has been fooled as Yan awakens and spits the scale out. He admits that he doesn't have the dagger because he couldn't find it, and that everything he did was a ruse to figure out Imugi's weakness and his technique of transferring from one body to another. After that, we see Taulupa changing Jaya's death date to today because she believes that Imugi has gone out of control and killing Jaya is the only way to weaken him. Later, Yen confronts her about the death date, but she claims that it is the only way to stop Imugi. On the other hand, the plague is gradually spreading. It has numerous victims all over Korea, with many more still to come. Yen eventually meets Terry and the two strike a deal. Yen offers him Taulupa's position, which is essentially the most powerful position in their world, but in return, he wants Jaya to be saved. However, all of this is just a plan to capture him, and Taulupa is part of it. Terry is smarter than we expected him to be, and he seems to know their plan, so play along with it. Terry shows up at the Afterlife Immigration Office and meets Taulupa. She is shocked to see him because he looks exactly like her son, and it turns out that he planted the plague in his son's wife. Unable to control her emotions, Taulupa blasts him with her powers, but it is revealed that Terry has the Mirror of the Moon in his hand, which is used to reflect any magic. By using it, he reflects Taulupa's magic, and she is turned into a stone. After this, Young shows up, but the damage has already been done. Even worse, the two sides of Imugi are now together, and they start fighting Yan. Not knowing what else to do, Yan makes a bold decision and swallows the scale to sacrifice himself. By doing this, the Imugi inside Jaya will possess Yan, and she is saved. However, Yan consumed Primroses earlier that evening, and that is Imugi's weakness. It is enough to balance out the power, and despite the possession, Imugi is still unable to take full control over his body. Yin holds onto Imugi and hands the blade over to Rang. He asks him to kill both of them, as it is the only way to stop the demon. Rang struggles to do so, but he is left with no choice, and he eventually plunges the sword between both of them. With that, the two falls to their doom. After Imugi's death, the virus that plagued Korea begins to disappear, and Taulupa recovered as well. She continues to ring the afterlife and asks them to change their mind and reincarnate Yan. Meanwhile, Rang and Jaya fall into a depressive state of grief, and they struggle to comprehend what has happened to Yan. Later, they decide to move on, but both find solace in remembering Yan. Afterward, Jaya decides to write a book named Tale of the Nine-Tailed in Yan's honor. Elsewhere, Shinju proposes to Rang's subordinate, Yuri. She accepts and everyone joins them to celebrate. 6 months later, Jaya and Rang come across the same fortune teller from before, and it turns out that he is actually a judge of the afterlife and is responsible for reincarnating people. With his help, they will be able to reincarnate Yan, but they need to give their most precious thing to him. Rang decides to give himself over and makes a truly selfless act to save his brother. Later, Jaya heads out in the rain, and guess what? She comes across Yan, who is apparently reincarnated as a human. The couple is reunited once again. However, in the end, Yan heads out with his red umbrella and suddenly wields a sword. With that, his eyes glow orange, indicating that he still has his fox powers. And with that, our recap comes to an end. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.